once I hit the button.
Might want to hold on. Don't. Let me just do this. You're gonna edit this out, right?
No, this is all this stays in.
This is all a part of it.
This is the show.
Huge news being announced.
Oh, you gotta keep talking. It fills the air.
No, we're cutting this part out.
By dogs, not flowers. No, this is all part of the show.
All right, let's start.
Like we haven't already. Welcome to the Open Color Podcast. I am Cory. He is Vishal. Thanks for joining us. I was out today because we decided to have breakfast for lunch.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we're going to make some pancakes, and I was low on the mix. So I had to rush out and go get some more. And it was a little busier because, you know, it's lunchtime at the Mart of the Wall. So I parked about 3 rows of cars away from the store, and I passed a car that had a handicap sticker. And I look, and there's 2 rows ahead, right, you know, in front of the store is the handicap spots, all of which are available. So I'm thinking, this person really wanted to show the world that he could do it.
That's right. Or she.
or this person, gender neutral, was wanted to be considered able-bodied, I guess.
Or, you know, the other spots were taken at the time.
I like my theory better.
No, I agree. It's much more, you know, power to the people.
Power to the people. More inspirational.
Power to the able-bodied people.
Person got out, did not drag their leg. Like Homer.
Like a certain Mr. Sampson.
I think it was Mr. Thompson. So through many of our past conversations, I took it upon myself to rewatch both Bad Boys movies.
Yes, and how do they hold up?
I still enjoy them. They don't hold up well in terms of movie making.
Yeah,
but they're still funny. They're funny.
I remember the second one being like much better, like much funnier. They really embraced their like one-liners.
Yeah.
In the second one, for sure, it was an action comedy, like through and through.
Yeah, you watch the first one and you can say, oh yeah, this is definitely Michael Bay's first movie. And then when you watch the second one, you go, oh, this is a Michael Bay movie. Yeah.
This is why he is the way he is.
Just like the quick cuts every 5 seconds, these random slow motion, and it's in both movies. Like at one point they get up in slow motion and the camera like spins around a 360 of them while they look like distraught.
Yeah.
While all sweaty.
Well, isn't like one of the first scenes like that where they kind of go, they go to that island, I guess.
Yeah, it's the KKK
right
meeting, and they're like undercover, and it's supposed to be this.
Don't they do the 360 shot of them?
Yeah, when they
throw their guns. Yeah, or they're like all their cloaks and stuff.
Yeah,
are flinging. Oh man, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I remember that scene. That one, and then the one where Will is pretending to be. Oh no, it's like someone is going to meet someone's daughter, or like pick up the daughter at what's his name's place, and they're like, "What's your name?"
Oh yeah. Reggie.
Yeah. Reggie? Who are you here to see? And then like Will shows up out of nowhere. He's like, yo, what's your name?
He's like, who's at the door? It's Reggie. Who the fuck is Reggie?
Yeah. That was a good scene.
Yeah, they just interrogate the shit out of the kid who's just trying to take the daughter out on a date.
No, you can't do that.
No. My favorite part is like the time they took to come up with the the name of their like task force. They're TNT,
Oh
the
yeah.
tactical narcotics team. It's like,
So good.
really? Like, we're TNT guys. What's the T stand for? Tactical narcotics. What's the other one? It's team.
I don't know. Team.
Yeah, go team.
Team Discovery
Oh yeah, that's yeah, it's definitely you 100%. You should go back and watch them. I don't know if you want to watch 2 first, just to see, oh, it's Michael Bay, or you want to see
No, I think
how he
I'd rather see the
started,
progression.
and then it's just, yeah, it's there's, oh, this is an interesting filmmaker, and then, oh my god, what
Oh,
has he done?
what is happening?
Yeah, every trope that like he gets knocked for with the Transformers movies is on full display here.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of the second one is during the opening credits where it says, I think it's like musical consultant P Diddy.
Oh, really?
You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. That's Nelly did a song for that too, didn't he?
Yeah, and it's like it's played
It's
like
with
82 times in the
yeah.
movie.
It's like yeah, it's
Shake your
just
tail feathers.
that's right. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I speaking of movies that we finally got around to watching, I watched Aquaman.
Oh, here we go.
I like it was not good. You know, we
Yeah,
were watching
you went in expecting bad.
bad, and it was worse.
Okay.
But, yeah, and you know, it's just there's always those movies that they're bad, but they have like a few redeeming qualities. Like, oh, there was that one scene that was pretty cool, and oh, there's this one plot twist that yeah, like I can get on board with that. This
Yeah.
movie, like from the first half hour, I was like, man, I can't believe I'm all like still watching this.
Like Venom.
Yeah, I got exactly. But like, at least the last kind of 5 minutes of Venom kind of made it worth it. Like just that, it wasn't great, but it was kind of like, all right, I could at least watch this scene
I
a
think
couple of times.
what's interesting, I think thinking back now on Venom, is that I think Tom Hardy was in a completely different movie than everybody else.
Oh, absolutely.
And then not even just one movie. I think
So like
he's like in like 8 different movies.
Yeah, like that's the kind of thing where you're like, you know what, Venom was not great, but it could have been so much worse if Tom Hardy was not Venom. Like if it was anyone else, the movie would have been just so much worse.
What if it was Topher Grace? If it would be better.
But like with Aquaman, it was just like from the get-go, it was bad. And then on top of that, it was predictable. And like, okay, we both know that like Marvel movies, especially the solo origin story movies, are as cookie cutter as they get.
Yeah.
Every single one, it's the same pattern, and it's predictable. You know what's going to happen. Whatever.
Right.
And Aquaman, exact same thing, but it's just it was done poorly, and because it didn't have any of those saving graces that most of the Marvel like origin story movies have. Like that just made it worse. At least there's other movies that you could just be like, oh man, like yes, this is Thor is the exact same movie as Captain America in a way, but like they were able to do just a few things differently that made the movies worthwhile. This one, no, like the action was terrible. The like fight choreography was terrible. Motivations terrible. Plot like everything was just so bad about it. And then on top of that, they had Jason Momoa being like, trying to be the one-liner guy, trying to make everything lighter and do all that, but like it wasn't landing most of the time. And so like they didn't even have that to fall back on. Like, all right, well, the movie wasn't too bad, but at least there was a few good one-liners. Like nope.
Yeah, no, you can't rely on that at all.
No. And so yeah, I don't know. It's a solid avoid it if you can for me.
That's a rating scale. There's see it all the way down to avoid it if you can.
Yeah.
Or just don't watch it, period. But I guess it's funny to think that it made a ton of money, and it's considered one of the better ones, and yet it's bad.
It's bad. I don't know.
And so no redeeming qualities at all in your eyes.
I would say no, or I would say yes. So just no, don't see it. Yes, there are no redeeming qualities. It's just not a movie that's worth it, in my opinion. And
Black Manta wasn't cool.
Nope. And like even his motivations and like why he would do stuff, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, kind of, but not really. Plus, he wasn't the main bad guy, and so like his motivations were like less.
Now, my understanding is what the bad guy is basically like Loki light.
Yep.
Our buddy,
essentially,
good friend of the show, Patrick Wilson.
Yeah. Essentially, it was a, half brother claiming the throne.
He's not by chance a frost giant, was he?
He was not. He was some kind of mermaid person.
Merman.
Mer person. I don't know if you want to call him a man. But yeah, I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah. Definitely not a buy it or try it.
Oh, hell no. All right.
Oh, hell no.
Hell to the no. All right. It has been long enough. We have some big news.
We won the lottery?
Yes, something like that.
Oh, there's a spider crawling across my desk.
That's not the big news, everyone who's listening.
It's been doing it for 3 weeks now.
Cory, what's the big news?
Well, let me get rid of the spider for a second.
No, we need to know now.
No, I got it. Okay, so what today recording date is the 31st of March. So that's the 15th month. Or the 13th month, whatever the Simpsons quote is. So I believe we've posted a bit of a teaser spoiler image, but April 16th, we're actually going to be taking the show on the road, as it were.
Live on location.
Live on location. Not in front of anybody. I at least hope, God willing, there'll be no one watching.
We might have some
people walking by, poking their heads in.
Hey, get out of here! We're podcasting here.
So CTC, Canadian Tire Center, for those unaware of the abbreviation, will be hosting or housing one of our shows as we gear up towards our 1 year anniversary. So I guess this will be the anniversary show, as it were.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we'll have I think our good friend Ryan's coming back.
I hope so.
Gonna pod with us some more. Good couple hour show. Divvy it up. We'll have like a month worth of shows in one sitting.
I think it's gonna be really fun to be recording like in the same spot, like all of us in the same spot together, and also like at a nice big desk, which is really cool.
And go back where this all started.
That's right.
Good.
Get some kitty cannon in the background.
Balloons.
Throwing
tacks at the.
And then, well, I guess the background won't be as.
Yeah, I don't know the lighting situation. I don't know the lighting situation will be at the time of our recording, but yeah, so that's definitely for those who haven't live streamed us before, that'll be a live stream.
Yeah, you're going to want to live stream that.
Because in the audio world, not really going to get the full effect.
No.
You could try, but you will not be successful.
That's right. But yeah, so keep an eye out. We will remind you guys again. We'll likely have one more podcast between now and then, and we will remind you. But definitely Tuesday, April 16th. Keep an eye out for us going big time for one episode.
Maybe, hopefully more.
That would be
a long summer.
Yeah, if all goes well and we can do a few more there, that'd be great. And then you know what? Maybe they'll just hire us full time.
Or try other places if they don't throw us out.
That's right. Like, at the red line in the penalty box. All right, coming at you live from the penalty box.
Coming at you live from Plays at McDonald's. From the ball pit.
Bazinga.
Yeah, the show gets big enough, we'll have to do actual live audience
Yeah.
shows, take Q&As. Oh yeah, we'll definitely send your Q and we'll give you some A's.
Hopefully, yes.
Have the chat aspect of the live stream going. Just sit there for 2 hours. Any questions yet, Vishal? Not that I can see, Cory. All right, we'll check back in 10 minutes.
But yeah, very excited for that. I think it's going to be a blast.
It could possibly be like the most exciting yet most disappointing show of all of them.
I don't think so. I think at that point, I'm just going to be
just riding high,
ramped up about Endgame and whatever else. So I'll be.
It's almost like a clip show.
I don't think anything is going to bring me down from that.
Did you see Zack Snyder's response to the criticism of his Batman?
About him being like, Batman's allowed to kill people. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, like basically he just proved he never understood the character. So it's like the actual quote when he was giving an interview was, someone says to me regarding Affleck, so Batman killed a guy. And I'm like, fuck, really? Yeah. Wake the fuck up. Guess that's what I'm saying. Once you've lost your virginity to this fucking movie and then you go, then you come and say to me something about my superheroes wouldn't do that. I'm like, are you serious? Because he's a stoner, I guess, beach guy. I'm like, down the fucking road on that. It's a cool point of view to be like, my heroes are still innocent. My heroes don't fucking lie to America. My heroes didn't embezzle $1 million from corporation. My heroes didn't commit any atrocities. That's cool, but you're living in a fucking dream world. Like, yeah, we are, because
it's a
they're not real. Yeah.
It is an imaginary world.
Adhere to the code and the history that came before it and honor those characters. Like, I can understand, like, I think every iteration of Batman so far, while the Chris Nolan movies have tried to play up his Batman doesn't kill, like, just go watch Batman Begins again.
Yeah.
But they've all been killers. There's just one iteration specifically mentions that, yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing this because that separates me from them. But this guy is just, no, like, it's a movie, just deal with it.
It's also, but like I get, it's just, there's every superhero, every movie, that's like, okay, like Captain America, who's the moral compass of the Avengers.
Yeah.
To say that he's never killed anyone.
No, he's a soldier.
He's a soldier. And like, yeah, if he has his choice, he will probably, he would rather put them in jail versus killing them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then, Avengers happen and there's like a fight in New York City and like buildings are falling. Like, people died in the Battle of New York. Like, that's a thing that happened. Whether it was by Captain America's hand, or anything like that, like, he was a part of that. And then same with like every Batman movie, same with every Spider-Man movie, like any superhero movie, there's something that happens where, something happens at a major event, like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, Spider-Man. Like, are you going to say that Spider-Man, in saving all of those people, didn't let one of them die? Like, that's kind of bull. So, like, yeah, okay, maybe Spider-Man never took a gun and actually just shot someone. But in saving millions of people, yeah, like, for sure, a couple people died. And it was because of Spider-Man, or same with Superman. Like, because he did this one thing.
Especially Man of Steel's God.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all that stuff, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, okay, Batman doesn't kill outright, but he has a lot of blood on his hands through like secondary.
Yeah, it's easier to keep that code intact when you're writing 30 pages and X number of panels per page versus
Yeah,
trying to up the ante with a spectacular third act stunt
exactly.
piece, right?
But like at the same time, I agree. Like, you know, it's his comments are pretty, I don't know, not childish, I guess, but
It
really,
just it explains the quality of his filmmaking to a
yeah,
T. Like, you were giving uh, a big franchise, Man of Steel, and then having Batman involved in the sequel, and then just shit all over the publication history and all the character development through, at that time, I guess 70 years, now 80 years, and then just to have the whatever. That's not my problem. It's your problem.
yeah, like that's, just it shows how much effort, like not maybe how much effort, but it shows what he's bringing to the table, and like other people, might want to keep that, just certain parts of
Just,
the
yeah, keep that
character
in mind.
intact. And it's like, yeah, okay, you can't have everything, you can't do everything the same as everyone else, because then people will like bash you for that. But
Which they have.
which they have. But certain things you can you can hold on to and still have it be your Batman. Like it can be Zack Snyder's Batman and Christopher Nolan's Batman, and they can be very similar in a lot of ways and different in other ways, and have you know
Yeah.
the same but different Batman in different movies, in different universes, pretty much.
Suppose.
But none of
But
that
yeah, that
matters
explains.
because
He's gone.
the next Batman movie is just so far away from being made.
Was 2021, 2022.
We'll see. I'd say 2022
We have to get there first.
at the earliest.
Yeah, we definitely have to get there first, unfortunately. Um, so we're big on the video games, and we have dabbled in the digital only aspect of, or I should say, digital versions of games versus having the physical copies. But do you hear that Sony will stop retailers from selling PS4 download codes
I
starting
saw that.
tomorrow?
I saw the article. What is their reasoning behind it? Is it just so that they get more downloads from the PS Store?
Yeah, basically, it's to tell everyone to go to the PS Store to download their games.
Okay.
I think it started with GameStop. It got worked out. It says GameStop stores received a memo saying that Sony will no longer provide full game digital download codes to retailers. Starting April 1st, digital games will only be available straight from PSN after that date. Add-on content, PSN cards, all that will still be available. So just the full games.
So two things. Is there any chance this is going to be an April Fool's thing, or no?
I gotta say no, because this was mentioned prior to April 1st. That's just the official start date.
And then the second thing, what is the advantage for retailers? Is it just because they have limited stock of the physical copy and download codes can be generated? Like what? It's just if you're going into a GameStop or an EB Games or Best Buy or Source, wherever you're going, like what would be the advantage? Because it's not cheaper to get a digital copy. So then what would be the advantage of getting a digital copy versus a physical copy anyway?
So you're referring to the consumer, not the store offering it.
Yeah. To if I was to go into a GameStop and I wanted to get the new whatever Spider-Man game, and if I have the option of paying the exact same for a physical copy and a digital copy, especially for something like a PlayStation that's not like a portable situation where, like we've discussed with the Switch, sometimes you have the Switch in bed, but your case full of games is upstairs. And if you had the digital versions of everything, no big deal. But for a PlayStation, I mean, I guess the hassle of not switching discs if you wanted to switch a game. But most people, I would say, leave their games, fairly close to their PlayStation. So I think it's not a huge deal. But like, yeah, what is the advantage to me, the consumer, of getting a digital download at a physical retailer?
I can't see there being one. The only thing I could see in terms of advantage of going to the store to get a digital copy would be in relation to,
Like a bundle.
yeah, the bundle. But I was just say, if you want to compare it to downloading a digital copy through your PSN, is that you don't have to store your credit card or enter your credit card information. So
Right.
I don't
Okay.
want
So
the
yeah.
digital copy, but to go to the store to get a card versus the disc, I can't think of anything off the top of my head would be
Right.
more
No, you're
advantageous.
that does make sense. Like if you're a kid that just has a GameStop gift card and don't have the cash, I guess like that part makes sense. Where you know needing a credit card, especially if you're younger, then having to be like, hey parents, can you like enter all this information so that I can get this game,
Yeah,
versus you saving up your allowance or saving up gift cards and then going to do that. But again, at the same time, doing that, you might as well get the physical copy of the game
right.
when you're
Absolutely.
going in the store. So yeah, I mean, it's annoying. I would say at first glance, it's annoying, and it sounds like PlayStation's just being, or it sounds like Sony's just being Sony, being like, we want you to do everything through our channels. But at the same time, I don't see the advantage. Like I don't see the difference it would make for a consumer. The only people that might hurt is um, the retailers that maybe were selling digital codes online.
Yeah, that
That
would be the only
that would be
way.
the only thing. Would be digital downloads online, or getting the digital code online,
Hmm.
and then the advantage there would be getting the game right away versus waiting for it to get shipped to you.
Yeah, I can see that affecting bundles going forward. That's for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say, I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason Sony's doing it. I haven't read into it enough, but I don't see how it would really affect us, the consumer, that
Well,
much,
especially us.
especially us.
we're
Yeah.
not we're not the market there for worrying about GameStop and download codes for PS4 games.
That's true.
Nintendo, on the other hand, but yeah. So
Again,
I
it would be the same thing, even if it was for Switch. If they're like, all right, we have Yoshi's Island, the cartridge or the digital download.
see.
If I'm going into a store,
Yeah,
then it would make no difference. I mean, all right, maybe if they had a limited supply of stock and they just had whatever 40 physical copies and 40 game codes, and all the physical copies were sold, and I get there and I really want the game, then yeah, okay, I'll get the digital code.
see,
But
Nintendo is the only one I've seen, and it was around Christmas. Is that they had a lot of deals on their eShop versus the physical copies.
what do you mean? Oh,
Like in terms
like
of the
getting
game,
getting NBA for like
yeah. So you get the
30
digital copy
bucks.
for $30 rather than paying 70 for the
Yeah,
cartridge. So do that. Or in my case, they had both of the South Park games that were like $20 and $30
right.
versus 59 for both in the stores. So I took advantage of that. But yeah, if all things considered, price is the same, I'd rather pick up the physical because then if I'm done, I can trade it in.
Exactly. Trade it, sell it, give it to a friend. Like there's so much more you can do with the physical copy. And like I could understand if the physical copy was even $5 more,
Mhm.
then yeah, the digital download makes sense if you weren't planning on doing anything after you were done with the game. But when all things are equal, like I don't know anyone who would go into a store to pick up a piece of cardboard with a code on it.
Mhm. So I think this time next week we might have to take a look at the hockey playoffs because the season ends, I think, on a week from today. So as we gear up for our live show at a hockey arena, we'll talk a bit about hockey next week.
Hey,
But
woo!
Did I pique your fancy when I brought up the idea of that Super Blood hockey game that's coming out in a couple
Yeah,
weeks?
I'm gonna need you to talk about this.
So yeah, the way I described it to you, it's essentially it looks just like ice hockey that was on the NES.
Right.
So those uninitiated, it's the first hockey game where you had basically Mario looking hockey players. But this one is being described as a violent homage to classic 8-bit and 16-bit ice hockey games. Super Blood Hockey lets you customize your lineup, take to the ice, and use fast-paced skills and bone-crunching brutality to dominate the game. Various game modes. Single-player tournament, you can compete against friends in 4-player local multiplayer. There is even a franchise mode that lets you create, recruit, and manage your own custom team of inmates in a futuristic world of blood sports. There's also various challenges and scenarios, including turbo mode and a 12 versus 12 mega rumble. So it's basically the graphics look just like the game. The only difference is when you throw a hit, there's blood, like just splatters everywhere. Yeah. And apparently you're supposed to take full advantage of performance enhancing drugs.
Okay.
With your players, to obviously have the best team.
Give yourself an advantage.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, I'll shoot you the trailer for it, but it's there's no actual date for it, but it says it's coming out in April for the Switch, and then Q2 of 2019 for PS4.
Everything.
And,
so funny. Going up for the Switch first.
You're right. But it's
also streaming on Disney Plus.
What I was thinking, the only thing I can make think of is that the only thing that came to mind when I saw this was, did you ever play that Mutant Hockey League on Sega?
Yeah. They had like the holes and stuff in the
egg. Like you drill guys through the holes. Yeah, it was the greatest thing.
That was pretty fun. That was on Sega?
Yeah, it was. So Mutant Hockey League is a hockey game that was released in 1994 for the Sega Genesis. It was a spin-off of Mutant Football League, of course. Or sorry, Mutant League Football. But man, yeah, that was so. Anything that's ultra violent, I find,
especially in 8-bit. Wow,
has a warm place in my heart. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Sega, so did you hear that Sega is getting into the mini console game?
Mini console game.
So we have our NES classics. Did you ever pick up the SNES Classic?
No. I did not.
Or
the PlayStation one, which I think the PlayStation one, it was just
terrible,
DOA.
Terrible.
I think a week or two ago I saw someone was selling it for like $40.
Yeah, it's that
was a bad lineup.
Yeah.
Like there was no Parappa the Rapper, or was that on there?
No, there wasn't.
No, it wasn't. That's right. It was. But they had Crash.
It was just Crash. That was the only kind of okay, cool. So Sega is making a Sega Genesis Classic. Interested?
Any idea of what's going to be on there? Because
Sonic 2.
Yeah, I was just say Sonic's on everything though. You can get Sonic on mobile. You can get it on
Sonic
PlayStation,
2.
Microsoft. You can get it on the Switch.
I can't remember. I think that was the only one I saw that I was like, huh, that would be fun playing with a like 3-button controller again.
Yeah.
Like the actual Sega controller. But yeah, other than that, I don't really remember.
Toe Jim and Earl. I had that.
That's maybe
I know that's coming back too.
If like Earthworm Jim was on it,
Earthworm Jim.
I remember playing a lot of Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, like a lot of games I played on there were all licensed. That I can't really think of that would be worthwhile. Fuck, what was on Sega that I played a lot? NHL 94, but you're not going to read that on there.
No way. Yeah, NHL 94 was amazing.
Like, how many more of these mini consoles are we going to need?
So it's
64?
coming out It's coming out September 19th. $80 US.
So
It's called
$100 here.
it's called the Sega Mini. Let's see. Japanese version. No, I want the US version. Oh,
No,
Comic Zone.
you do want the Japanese version.
So yeah, so Sonic 2, Comic Zone. I actually used to play a lot of that one.
Okay.
Echo the Dolphin,
Yeah.
Toe Jam and Earl. Yeah,
Yeah.
um, they just have a few of the games right now. It says it's going to have 40 built-in games, um, and hit September 19th, 2019. But yeah, I don't. I'm with you with the NES and to a certain point the SNES
Yep.
Classic
Mhm.
were well worth the nostalgia of playing. Um, since then, it's like the PlayStation. It's because I would say that if there was a GameCube Classic, I would probably jump on that.
I find that if that would probably be the extent of how far you go, because
Exactly.
PlayStation 3 Classic, guys.
Yeah, like the GameCube Classic would just be amazing to have and have the Mario Kart, like all those
Mhm.
kind of just regular Nintendo games. Like I don't want a Dreamcast Classic. I don't, you know, um, even a PlayStation 2 Classic. Like it's the PlayStation 1 wasn't like it was fine. It was a good system. It was a good console, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. It didn't have. It was in that zone where the graphics were just good enough, and what made the NES and the SNES Classic great was that it's like, all right, clearly we have graphics that are just so much better than this
Right.
now, but the 8-bit and 16-bit graphics, it holds like a special place in our, like you were saying
Yeah.
with with the hockey and stuff like that,
Oh, that's day one purchase for me, man.
right? And so with the PlayStation at like what 32-bit graphics and like just choppy polygons of stuff, like it doesn't strike that same tone, and it was just an unnecessary piece of console that
Well,
like
I wonder too, and I don't know if you'll agree here, but when you get outside of Nintendo, like a Sony or a Sega, with the exception of, let's say, with Sony Crash Bandicoot, and Sega with Sonic, I think it was just so wide open that everyone played their own thing. Where on Nintendo, as everybody played Mario, everybody played Mario Kart, like
yeah,
everybody did, like basically there was these.
Tetris or
Yeah, exactly. We all played the same thing on those consoles, but once you started getting outside of Nintendo's family friendly type games and more into more mature stuff, then everyone kind of separated. So when I saw the lineup for the PlayStation Classic, take Crash Bandicoot out, and I had no interest in everything else that was on there. Like I know some people played Twisted Metal. I played Cyber Tiger,
yeah,
just
and like
making birdies.
I never had a PlayStation 1 or 2, I guess, but my one of my friends did, and we played some like hockey games on there.
Yeah,
Um, and then I think we played like Diablo 1.
I
Excuse me.
had NHL and I had NBA Live
Yeah, and I think like that's
and Gran Turismo.
so the Sega having like NBA Live Tournament Edition.
There you go.
I could possibly get on board with that. Um, but yeah, there's just very few games that I think would really entice me to spend $100 to get a like Sega Genesis level graphic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just it's not. It's in that zone where the 8 and 16-bit graphics of the
Yeah,
SNES and NES Classic were just, you're like, this isn't terrible, but
it's
it's
just not
not
great.
great. Um, and then because it's like, you know what? If I wanted to play a bad version of NHL, like I wouldn't. I don't want to do that now. Like unless I'm playing Blades of Steel.
Yes.
I want to go straight to a NHL 19. I don't want that middle ground. Whereas, I might want that middle ground of
I don't know,
Nintendo
man.
64, Mario 64,
Oh yes, Mario 64 was
right?
great.
Like,
That was the
I
first game I got on the Nintendo DS. Was when they did a port of that.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that was,
nice.
and I plowed right through it. Who would have
Yeah,
thought?
well,
Like
it's
20,
yeah,
20 years later, I was able to beat it.
that's one of those things where I'm like, I either want to play like Mario 3
Yeah,
or Super Mario World with those graphics,
yeah.
or I want to play like the Mario games on the Switch with those graphics, and I will definitely also play the in between
Yes,
of Mario 64,
but not Mario 2.
but not Mario 2. No amount of good graphics is going to make Mario 2 worth it.
Guys, we just ported 3D Mario 2.
Yeah,
It's open
no
world now.
thanks. But yeah, with PlayStation, like
Yeah.
I don't have that feeling. Sega, I don't have that feeling. If they made an Xbox, like the original Xbox Classic, I wouldn't want to play Halo on that.
No.
So yeah, I know they're Sega, Sony, and whoever else is, they're trying to jump into it and kind of win back, or like get that nostalgia factor. It's
I
not
thought you were
working
going to
for
say
them.
Microsoft, Sony, if you're listening, because we all know they are.
Yeah,
just stay
just
away.
stop.
Stop right now.
Let Nintendo have it. You guys do your own thing.
So, Dumbo opened this weekend in the box office. Some middling reviews, but open number 1, below expectations. But
what else was out?
Us is still out, which I want to see. I think it looks amazing.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
Did you?
Really, really enjoyed it. Yep. Jordan Peele, man, his
Twilight Zone starts tomorrow.
I know, very excited about that. I never
Here.
watched the OG Twilight Zone, but if Jordan Peele is part of something, after Get Out, especially, I'm all in on whatever he's doing.
I watched Get Out 2 years after it came out.
Get Out.
It's true. It was on my to watch list, and then I just threw it on. I'm like, well, the hype has died down. Not that I didn't expect it to be good. I like horror movies and thrillers.
Yeah.
And it's a good movie.
The Us it's a weird movie. It's a good one though. I think I am almost certain that you'll figure everything out before like a quarter of the movie is over.
Yeah.
And after you do watch it, let me know, because I'd like to talk to you about how.
We'll do it on the show.
Yeah, how it compares to an episode of something else, but it's
Seinfeld, right?
Kind of The Simpsons, actually, but what I really liked about it is there's a lot of room for interpretation, and you can make comparisons that
like that.
This is that. So like for different people watching it, it can be a different movie, and it's still good either way. So like after I watched it, I watched a few YouTube, like, what the ending of Us means, and or just like,
like Inception.
Yeah, like what this happened, or like what when this happened in Us, like what does that mean, and whatever. And it's like pretty much every video I watched had like something different, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess I could see it that way, and it wasn't the way I saw it originally. So that was really good, where it's nice that it's open, and it can mean so many different things to so many different people. So yeah, that was, but like on top of that, there's some good jump scares, there's some predictable jump scares, and there's some pretty predictable parts, but it's still just a good kind of story. Good like one-liners too. Plus, what's his name there? Winston Duke is just awesome. He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't like he doesn't growl at anyone, but oh man, I wish he did.
You have just lost yourself a customer.
Yeah, or bark at people.
So, in relation to Dumbo, IGN ranked Disney's 25 best animated movies.
From most racist to worst.
No, best, not racist, but so I know how we like our lists here, so I'll go quickly and see if we agree. I'm sure with the from 25 up until 10, it's all gravy. But so 25, Cinderella, 24, Alice in Wonderland. This is where it's contested here. 21, Wreck-It Ralph.
Oof.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Sleeping Beauty, 20. 101 Dalmatians, 19. Tarzan, 18. Tangled. Sorry.
Is this a like
worst to best
curated list of people's like reviews, or worst to best, like, you know, kind of like how much money it brought in and all that kind of like, is that all factored into it as well?
This is just, I guess, based. It's just 25 films by Disney that I guess IGN is through their spectrum of analysis have decided these are the ones they think in their order of it.
Got it. Sorry, so we were at 20?
So 20 was Sleeping Beauty, 19 101 Dalmatians, 18 Tarzan, 17 Tangled, 16 The Emperor's New Groove, Robin Hood 15, Dumbo 14, Pinocchio 13, number 12 Bambi, coming in at number 11 The Jungle Book, Moana number 10, Hercules number 9, Frozen 8, Mulan 7, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs 6, Fantasia 5, Little Mermaid 4, Aladdin 3, Beauty and the Beast 2, and The Lion King number 1.
I can get on board with the top 10.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily in that order.
Maybe not necessarily in that order, and like definitely, what was number 2? Beauty and the Beast. Like I understand why it's so high, but personally, I could live without it. Of that list, like I would rank Tarzan higher, for the soundtrack alone, probably.
That's Phil Collins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would rank The Emperor's New Groove higher.
It's Patrick Warburton.
And I would rank what was number 9?
Number 9 was Hercules.
Sorry, then 10?
Number 10, Moana.
So it was Moana, Hercules, Frozen, and then Mulan?
Mulan, yeah. And then Snow White, Fantasia.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty okay with that top 10 again.
I feel like Fantasia and Alice in Wonderland should kind of be around the same level.
Yeah.
You gotta be high as fuck to watch those movies and understand what the hell's going on.
I would say, yeah, like the list is, it's fine. It's reasonable. There's definitely, I would, of course, rank Wreck-It Ralph higher. Hercules, I would probably put higher as well.
And I think that the top 3 would be the 3 in most people's list, just in different orders.
Yeah.
Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and Lion King.
Yeah.
So we watched live action Beauty and the Beast today. It was on TV.
And
Ashley brought up a good point. So Belle leaves, right? And then like an hour later, this mad mob comes back to the castle. Would you not think that she sent them to go after the beast? It's like, yeah, go see your dad. And then like, wait a minute.
Wait a ticket.
That bitch. True love my ass.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's just so much. I don't know. I didn't really love the remake of Beauty and the Beast either. We've talked about this.
I still understand. They're French, yet everyone's British.
Yeah. That's just how it goes.
There's one part towards the end that I noticed. So when like Gaston was going on his like gotta kill a beast, it pans across the crowd and everybody's going nuts. Like, yeah, we should do it. One black dude's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, why are we doing this?
He's just what?
He's a beast. Why would we go after him?
Let's just, go back to our homes.
It's like, you know what? I'm gonna let you guys kill the beast. I'm gonna stay right here.
Yeah. I got work in the morning.
Yeah, I got stuff to do. I gotta be
We
around
all got
this.
stuff to do. Hey, did you hear about the restaurant on the moon?
I did not.
Oh, it has great food, no atmosphere.
Well, you gotta have the atmosphere.
That's right. One star review on Yelp.
one Moonrock review.
You know what? It was probably on the dark side of the moon.
That's probably it.
Yeah. That's Open Color for this week. Follow the show. Facebook.com/Open Color Podcast. Twitter, Instagram, Open Color Pod. Stream us on YouTube. YouTube.com/GoVNC. For Vishal, this is Cory reminding you to keep it casual.